First of all, I would like to welcome you all in the free webinar series, Cracking the Code of Remote Jobs Market. Well, I'm very excited to mentor you all to the point that you guys get a remote job or projects you can work on. It's very exciting for me. I worked hard on that, and I'm sure if you guys are committed, nothing is impossible. So let's move on with that. My name is Adil Arshad, and I am a business consultant, mentor, and a talent development specialist. I'm going to share my screen for the presentation, and then we'll move forward. So here we are. Like I introduced myself. We also have a guest speaker with us, Mohammed Ishaq Khan. I'm sure a lot of you people know him from LinkedIn, and he has not joined us yet. But let's see if he joins us, and we have the honor of him speaking to us. So, as I always say, and this is my slogan, that freedom is working from anywhere in the world. And I'm sure you all would agree with that. That's why you all are here. A little quote just to remind ourselves that nothing is impossible in the world, and the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Now, there are two keywords here. One is believe, and the other is dare. And now here, the dare word means like our dreams. So keep that in mind, that we cannot work for anybody else's dreams, and we cannot believe on anybody else's dreams because they're their dreams, they're not our dreams. So just have some dreams, some goals, some mission, some vision, and believe on them and work for them. That's the only way to succeed. A little bit about me in short. Again, like I mentioned, I'm a business growth consultant, and I do consulting through digital learning, digital transformation, placement of remote talent, and learning and development programs. That's what I do. My education is that I have an MBA degree from University of California in Davis, and I'm a certified agile management, agile project manager from UC Berkeley. And I also have an MS degree in human resource development from Comsat University in Islamabad, Pakistan. And lastly, I'm a certified mentor for career development. Now let's get to the webinar series. Here's a little chart showing you what will we discuss in this webinar series in all 5 webinars. It'll be almost like a 1-hour lecture time, and 30 minutes are assigned to question and answer sessions. If you want these resources, if you want these slides, if you want other updates, please subscribe and offer your email at the link that I provided. It's adilarshad.odia.com, and I will have your email, and then I will be able to send you guys resources and especially these presentations, so that you guys can refer them whenever you want. So why this webinar series? First of all, the goals are to mentor you all to find remote jobs, which is very important. There are like my audience of this webinar exceeded 450, and most of them, the people I talk to, I believe they are not mentally ready to find and land a remote job, because they have the skills, they have the talent, they have everything, but their approach and their techniques, they're not going to work. So that's most of the people in the audience. So please pay attention to what we have to talk about. Now, another goal is like for success. That's very important. Unless you understand what is success for you and how can you be successful in remote work, you will not be able to get a remote job or work on that remote job. Now, if we talk about setting you up for success, it involves working on your mindset. The very first thing is mindset, and mind basically tells you your what are your goals, what is your vision, how can you be successful, and what are your targets, what are you rooting for, what are you striving for, what are you hard working for, and that's all there in the mindset. If you don't have the mindset to or have some goals or have some targets to achieve, then you will be just following others, you will be just copying others, and you will just try to just hook it up and make something out of it. And that's not the way it works. So another part of success mindset is situational awareness. Situational awareness means like how do you understand the situation, the market, the global job market around you, what's going on globally, how are employers hiring, what do the companies do to hire remote talent. So this is also very important. You need to be situationally aware and understand that how these things are working. And the other part is character and communication. How do you communicate professionally? What is your character? What is your attitude towards the job, towards the work, even if it's remote work or in-person work? How do you behave? What are your professional manners? And how do you carry yourself in the workplace? And all these attributes and some other attributes will make you successful. And now this is, again, starting from mindset, these things are very, very important if you want to do anything in the work. Not just working or not just freelancing or not just having a remote job. You need to have all these situations in your mind before you move further. And then you should have a solid story that you can tell. That's also very important. When you write your story or when you know your story, you know what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, how can you move further, what are the limitations that you have. For example, if you don't have any internet, for example, that's a limitation. So you need to know what are the strengths and weaknesses, what are your opportunities and threats, what did you went through to get where you are right now. So you need to understand your own story, to understand your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and to use them in your favor to be successful. And then another goal of this webinar is helping you with your journey from in-person jobs like what you're doing right now to remote jobs, or to have you get to make you prepared for a remote job and transition you from project, from freelance, if you are a freelancer, from freelancing projects, if you are working at day jobs, 9-to-5 jobs. Well, we'll have to transition you and transform you to be able to be ready for remote jobs. And again, this is for job-minded people. And for business-minded people, if there are any, then we'll have to transform or transit them from remote jobs to personal branding and entrepreneurship. That's what we're doing in this webinar. Now, another goal of this webinar series that's very important. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm building a talent pool from all these different fields, so that I have a group of people that I can trust, that I can refer to my clients, that I can use for my own projects and help them make money and grow, basically. So the talent pool that I'm looking for will mostly emphasize on these different fields like emerging technologies, information technology. I will need some graphic designers. Most of my clients, they also need some people from video technologies like AR, VR, video editing, handling YouTube channels and stuff like that. And then I will definitely need content specialists uh, for me and my clients. And then uh, we also need UX, UI designers and digital marketing professionals. Now, if there are any other people here that have joined the webinar, I would say that they must not get demotivated about this. There will always be room for them, and we will always help them um, as to help them to get remote jobs as we have more opportunities. But definitely, I can mentor and guide them to find and get a remote job in other different companies and different places. That's what I'm here for. So um, that's not that should not be demotivating. We have room for every background, every experience, all the different skill sets. So just don't get demotivated. Just work hard, and we'll help you. I have a poll, and I would like to ask you guys, what is your expertise, niche, or field? And you just have to select one, whichever your niche is and field is. Please don't select two, because that will change the results. I just need one answer. And mostly everything is self-explanatory. For example, if you're a content specialist, mostly they're creators, copywriters, or content marketing professionals. So just select content specialist. If you're a digital marketing specialist, that's different. It's going to be an SEO specialist, advertisement specialist, or social media person. And similarly, emerging technologies and engineer, and the other explains if you are an accountant, a medical or business professional, or an engineer. That will be something that you can select. So let me share the poll with you, and then I will give you guys like 5 minutes to answer this poll. All right, so I got pretty much like 88% of the answers. So I will end the poll and we will move further. I see that a lot of you are from digital marketing, UX, UI design. Most of you are from information technology, software, SaaS, mobile app developers, and we have also a um, big chunk of people from other professions like accountant, or engineering, or lawyers, or all other professions. So I will end the poll. Thank you for answering. That gives me a good idea of how I can treat you guys, basically. So what I need to be prepared for, and what I'm going to tell you guys, so that it'd be beneficial for you, and it'd be good for you to land the remote jobs. Now, let's move further. And this was a part where I would invite our guest speaker, Mohammed Shah Khan, but I guess for some reason he was not able to join. And I can understand, because it's very late night in Pakistan, or where he belongs to, and then that's probably why he was not able to join. And we can have him in the next webinars. going further. So now, just getting back to our webinar and how the remote job market works, we have two remote jobs, two types of remote work, basically. One is remote job, and the second is entrepreneurship or freelancing, you can say, where people work in their own time and do projects for their clients. Basically, that's the business part. Like you know how people work on Fiverr, Upwork, and the freelancing platforms, or they have other different they have their own web development agencies or marketing agencies or SEO agencies where now, for the sake of this webinar, our focus will be on remote jobs, not the remote entrepreneurship. But I also do mentorship for remote entrepreneurs, and that's a different subject. We'll get to it at some other time. This series is all about remote jobs. So moving further, this is some data how the remote job trend grew in last few years. For example, in over the last 5 years, the remote jobs grew like almost 50%, like 44% to be exact. In starting COVID, it boosted the remote work boosted because of COVID. Nobody was able to work in person. So this data will definitely go up if we talk about post-COVID market. And in last 10 years, imagine last 10 years still, the remote work increased almost 100% and 91% to be precise. That means that if there were like 100 remote jobs 10 years ago, now there are 200 remote jobs. And if you talk about last 12 years, in just 2 years, the growth went up 60%. So it's almost 160% in the last 12 years. And that's a lot. So if we think about it, since 2011, there was 160% growth in the remote work. So there are a lot of opportunities. There are people that are working remotely, and there are people that can work remotely from all over the world. And this is the data that supports that. Now, webinar series focus again, as I mentioned, the focus is on remote jobs. So, and what we're going to discuss today is the what of the remote jobs. So how, then we have like 5 questions of what, why, when, where, and how. All these questions need to be answered before even we start searching for a remote job. What of remote jobs includes the questions of what, like what are you trying to do basically? What is success for you? What is your niche? What skills do you need? What is your value or worth? And what are your strengths and weaknesses? And what are the portals you can use to get the remote job? This is all about what. Answering these what questions are very, very important. And similarly, this is what part of the webinar series that we're going to focus on today. We need to answer these questions before we move further. Now, the other parts or the next webinars will focus on why we need remote job. We need to understand, we need to plan about that in order to be successful and be successful in finding a remote job. If we go further, then we will ask when, similarly where, and then the last part after we are done with all these what, why, when, where questions, we'll understand how we can get the remote job. And all the other questions will help us to pitch in and to make us close to our goal, that is how to get a remote job. So let's focus on what today, and in the following free webinars we can discuss the other parts. Now again, what is very important? I listed some questions here that are a must to be answered before we move further. Without answering these questions or without taking all these steps seriously, we cannot land a remote job, because again, the competition in the world is very furious. You are not only the one who wants a remote job and wants the freedom to work from anywhere in the world. Everyone today not everyone, I must say, but most of people today, they will love to have that freedom and work from anywhere in the world, wherever they are on the vacation with their family at their home, and they just like to do that. But again, the competition is furious, so we need to stay ahead. We need to plan. We need to focus. We need to learn all these skills before we move further. And these questions are very important to address. The first question is what success means to you. So what is success basically? And you need to understand if you have to set a goal, you need to understand that you have to set a target or vision for yourself. And that's the success for you before you move further. And then again, the next question is what is your niche? This is very important. I'm going to explain all these questions in detail in the presentation moving forward, but I'm just reading out loud the questions that you need to have in your mind before you think about it. Niche is very important. Skills, what skills are needed? That is very, very important because employers they go after skills. They don't go after how you look. They don't need your skill set. They don't need your profile. They don't need your portfolio. They don't know if you you have the portfolio where you rely on word, but a lot of us do that sometimes in our portfolio just to impress the employers. And they know that they're not stupid. They know that a lot of people they lie on their resume, they lie on their portfolio. So then they're not gonna go with your resume or portfolio only. They're gonna test yours. And that's very important. The next question is what is your market value? What is your worth? How in competition, are you a $10 per hour person or are you a $100 per hour person or what is exactly your market value? So that's very important to know. If you don't know your own value, you cannot be a good professional. You cannot earn more. You cannot earn what you should, and you will always settle for lower wages. Another very important part is to know your strengths and weaknesses. What strengths do you have? What are your weaknesses and how to use your weaknesses for your own good? That's also very important to address. And this is the very last part where you will know that what portals are best for your niche. For example, I'll just throw out an example. For example, 99 Design is a portal that is good only for web graphic designers. It's not good for other professionals. So you'll have to focus on 2, 3, or even one portal, which you know that is best for your niche, and employers post job on these portals, and you have a better chance to land a job. So we'll go through these and just pay attention. Now, the first point here was what is success for you? So I have a quote here that basically defines success for everybody. And you need to think about it. If money is your scale of success, then even if you get money and a whole lot of money, you will never be happy. So just keep that in mind. For most of the people in the world, research tells us that money is not success. And success is something that's very personal, that's very subjective. It means it's different for everyone. It's not same for everyone. For some people, success is financial prosperity and wealth. For some people, it's just helping other people and make a positive impact in the world. For some people, it can be spiritual growth. For some people, it can be just building strong relationships, having friends and family around, and just stay with them for as long as possible. So everyone has their own concepts of success. Now, keep that in mind. All of these success factors can be there in one person also. I mean, they can go for financial prosperity and wealth. They would also give importance to offering a positive impact on the world. They will also try and build strong relationships with family and friends. But again, if you're running after one, you may suffer in the other one. So that's very important. That's where these factors need to be prioritized. So you need to have a clear thought in your mind that what is success for you, and you can prioritize all these success factors for yourself so that you know if at this stage of my life financial prosperity and wealth is important, then I will have to suffer building strong relationships with family and friends. And if happiness and personal fulfillment is my goal, then I might have to suffer in financial prosperity and wealth. So all these are connected very much, but you have to change priorities um, wisely so that you know that what is your priority for the next short term, for example, a year or two. So that's how it will work. You will have to prioritize your success factor. Now, these are also very important. These are ingredients of success. All these ingredients, they are important if you want to be successful. If you're missing out on two or three, you can do that, but not for long if you want to be successful in the long term. So that's something that is something that's very important to know. The first one is hard work and determination. Now, there is no shortcut. That's the first thing that you need to understand. If you want to be a successful person, you should not look for short-term benefits, short-term gains, or something that's very short. You need to have a long-term, hard-working plan and determination to be successful in long-term. If you're just looking for something short-term, then yeah, you can be successful in very short period of time. But then you will come apart as soon as that time is over. So if you want to be successful, success is always long term. It's not short term. You will have to go for a long haul. Now, other one is the positive attitude and resilience. Positive attitude and resilience is very important. Positive attitude means that even if you're having a bad day and you don't want to talk to anybody, even you have a positive attitude, you have a smile, you have a nice way to greet people, you're talking to people, you're still being positive basically. And there comes a resilience too. Like if you're having a bad day, the resilience is like controlling your emotions and be nice to others, talk to others and smile. So that's resilience, like controlling yourself and do what you have to do. Now, another important and very important ingredient of success is strong communication. If you are not a good communicator, if you don't have good interpersonal skills, then you will lack that success factor in your success. And strong communication also relates to confidence. If you're a strong communicator, you'll be confident. If you're not a strong communicator, then it's not going to help you. Then comes good planning and organization. Organization skills are very important. Continuous learning is very important, and self-improvement is very important because in this furious competition, a lot of people, they are there and they're there to put a feet on your head and move ahead of you. So if you're not continuously learning and self-improving, you cannot compete. All other people who are learning and who are self-improving, who are focused on learning new skills and experiences, they will get ahead of you and you will stay behind. Adaptability and flexibility is very important, especially in remote work, because in remote work, your situations change. Like, for example, you're sitting with family in your house and you have to work. So you'll have to adopt from that family comfortable environment to work environment. That's very important, and you should be flexible in doing that. And that takes quite a bit of organization. That takes quite a bit of skill to be adaptable from being in a family environment and going to work right away in remote setting. Networking and building strong relationships is very important. because these are the things that will get you ahead of other people if you have a strong network. Setting clear and realistic goals is important. Taking calculated risk is very important. And then most important, I think, is having a strong support system. Like you should have some kind of a mentor or a coach that you think will guide you to success, will guide you, will help you, will teach you how to do different things to be successful in your specific career or specific field. So whoever it is, just try and have a good mentor and coach, and the ones you know that he will guide you and he's there for you. So the next one is this is the second part of the second part of the what question. Like, what is your niche? That is very, very important. And it's equally important for businesses and jobs, not just businesses. Most of the people think that, it's defining a niche is only important for businesses. No, it is important, but it is equally important to have a niche in the jobs market because a niche will increase your chances to get a right job. That is very good. That is a very good job for you and the job that you will enjoy working. So define your niche. And there's a saying that if others have the same niche as you, then you all got it wrong, basically. So your niche is something that is very unique to you. It should be very uncommon. Only like a few people in the world should do the same thing, and that's what niche is. Now I just have examples here for our niche. Like my niche is that I connect remote talent with business, and another niche that I work on is my main consulting niche is that I saved over 40% in labor costs to my clients through digital learning, transformation, and remote talent placement. And I'm sure nobody else in the world has this niche. Nobody else is saving clients labor costs through digital learning, most importantly. Yeah, somebody will be doing digital transformation, somebody will do remote talent placement, but no one else is saving money to their clients through digital learning. And that's my niche. Similarly, we have niche. We have profile heading of Mohammed Ishtaq Khan, and his niche is basically that he's a LinkedIn entrepreneur. So this is something that is very unique to him. He tells freelancers and entrepreneurs how to use LinkedIn better and how to grow LinkedIn using social selling, how to network with people on LinkedIn. So that's his niche, and that's very important, and that's something that he's an expert in. Now, the biggest question here is, and a lot of people, I'm sure, all of you know that this is the biggest question, that how to develop your niche. Most of the people get confused when they try and develop their niche. They think that niche is being a graphic designer. They think that niche is being a content writer. They think their niche is being a copywriter, but that's not their niche. That's their field. That's their industry. That's not their niche at all. So what is niche? Niche basically is a blend of interests, skills, experiences, and network. When you blend all these things together, like what skills you have, what are your interests, what are your experiences, and what type of people you have around, so that you can get help from them, and that's what defines your niche. How we define niche, basically, formally, if we talk about it, it's the smallest part of anything. For example, if we have a car, the niche of a car would be just a tire, for example. That's the smallest individual part that is very different from all the other parts of a car. So a tire might not be a good example because there are 4 tires, but let's see a steering wheel. There is only one steering wheel in the car. So in this case, the steering wheel is in itself the smallest part of a car and there is no other steering wheel in a car. That's the niche, and that's all these all the functionality of that steering wheel is so unique that no other part does that same job. So that's how we define niche. And that why it is important that it differentiates you from others in the field. For example, if you're a graphic designer and you have a niche, uh, that niche will differentiate you from all other graphic designers. So that to learn the concept of niche, that's very important. Some of the benefits of having a niche is like one of the main thing is that people who have a niche, they rarely fail. They don't fail. So determining your niche is very important. You cannot be a graphic designer. I mean, you can design logos and you can design all the flyers. You can design everything that's part of graphic designing. You can do that. That's a skill that you have, and you can be a specialist in it. But in order to be successful, in order to be a great logo designer, you have to have that niche defined, that you just design logos and you design great logos. You don't design if you are going after designing everything, then you will not be a great designer because you will be all over the place. You have the skills, but you will not be an expert logo designer. You will not be an expert web designer. So defining your niche is very, very important. And again, it's the smallest part of any field. Now, another benefit of niche is that you stand out, and your niche determines that it helps you determine that you have no or minimum competition. If you identify your niche wisely, then you will decrease the competition that you have. Because, for example, again, there are so many content writers, there are so many digital marketers, there are so many SEO professionals or graphic designers out there, but there are not so many content writers that only write about self-awareness, for example. There are not many content writers out there who only write about coaching, for example. So that's very important. Now, again, some benefits. You are the only expert, or you are one of very, very few experts in the whole world if you define your niche. You will have better job security because, again, you are the only expert, or there are very few experts in the whole world. It will also increase your earning potential, and it will also increase your job satisfaction. Again, just to throw it out there, every graphic designer or virtual assistant will furiously compete with one another if everyone says that they are a graphic designer or a virtual assistant. And you will have the demand and supply issue. There will be a lot of them, and the people will not pay you enough, and everybody will suffer. So it's important to have any. Here are some examples, just to clarify a little bit more on your concepts. So just pay attention to the concepts so that it will help you to define your own niche. I have some graphic design examples and content writing examples, and I can always help the rest of the people from the rest of the fields how they can develop their niche. For example, for a graphic designer, a niche would be a logo design expert for e-commerce businesses. I mean, that's his or her niche, that he only designs logo for e-commerce businesses. That's a niche. There'll be logo designers, but they would design logo for everybody out there. So that's not a niche. Now, if you're designing logos for specific businesses, that's where the niche element comes. Another example could be elements design only for consulting businesses and websites. So this graphic designer, he or she designs elements for the website of consulting business. That's a niche. So that will make him, over the years, in a year or two, the practicing and designing logos for consulting business will make him an expert to design logos for such business, and nobody will be able to compete with that specific niche. Another is infographic designer for coaches. That's another specific niche, and it will
offer very, very less or no competition to the professional, to the graphic designer who has infographic design for coaches as a niche. And logo design, again, logo design is not a niche. Similarly, content writer, writing about one sport such as football is a niche. Writing about melting of glaciers and climate change is another niche. A content writer that only writes about Nigerian food, that's something that's very uncommon in a very specific niche. Blog writing as a whole is not a niche. It's a field again, it's not a niche. And again, guys, ChatGPT is there to help you with everything. You just have to use it smartly. You can take ChatGPT's help to identify your own niche per se. There's a little story time now. I hope you guys will enjoy this story because that will tell you a lot about your techniques, your professional approach, and how you can communicate with the client. So just imagine you're chilling with your friends somewhere in a market or in a park or in a restaurant, and a stranger approaches you. A stranger approaches you without even introducing himself or herself. No hello, no salam, no namaste, no hi, no how are you feeling? Come closest to you and tells you that I'm looking for a driver's job or a maid's job. Please consider me for your driver, to be your driver, to be your maid. Now, tell me, how would you feel about that? I'm going to run a poll and I'm going to have your answers. How would you feel if a stranger approaches you without even introducing him or herself, without even telling you who they are, what they do, without even knowing you? They will just ask you for a favor to offer them a job for a driver or a maid. So please answer this this poll. Just a few people left. All right, let's see the results. Yeah, a lot of people, like most of the people said they will feel awkward and uncomfortable. And here are the results. Only 3 people say they'll be happy and pleased. I don't know what they're thinking because it's totally awkward and uncomfortable. So now let's move further. That's what a lot of employers feel. The reason of introducing this stranger story and this call is that a lot of people, a lot of employers, or even people like me who are helping you all, they will feel very uncomfortable and awkward if you will not even introduce yourself. You don't, I have messages from a lot of people, like 80% of the people, they don't even say hi. They don't even say, how are you? And they don't even show common courtesy, and they will ask you for favor right away. They will say, "Oh, I need a remote job. I need a remote job. I need help. I need this. I need that." I mean, before going that route, you need to understand that you have to connect. You have to connect at a human level. That's what my next slides will help you with. I will also throw in an example. My mentor here, I would like to share her details so that you know how I got the inspiration and uh, why I'm here and how I do what I do. Um, so I'm gonna share with you this my mentor. Her name is Marisa Leal, and she is a former global talent head of Facebook. So imagine her place. And then she's also been a former head of global talent acquisition at Deliveroo. And now currently she's a head of global talent acquisition in Binance. She was my mentor, and and I was never able to ask her. Even I was very tempted. I was very tempted, but I was never able to ask her about giving me a job at Facebook, getting me a job at Deliveroo. I mean, it was not a problem for her, but that would sound very awkward because that will trip her and she could get angry and she will just get away from me that I'm not the right person. Here is her profile, if you guys can see. This is my mentor, Marisa Leal. She is currently working in Binance. And if you look at her profile here, for 6 years, she was a global recruiting lead for Facebook. And for 3 years and 2 months, he was head of global business and recruitment at Deliveroo. That's also an international company. And now she's working as a global head of talent acquisition. So what I'm trying to say is we need to have some common courtesy. We need to develop some communication skills. We need to develop a connection with the human being we're asking a favor from. And they are humans who would not deny you any help. They will help you, but there's a way. There's a way you ask for it. Without offering something to them, without building a good connection, you're asking for favors straight up doesn't gonna work. It leaves a very bad impression. So now let's talk about a few skills that you need. And most importantly, how to identify the skills needed for the job. If you want to apply for a job, all the recruiters, all the employers, they will need some skills in you, and they will need to know if you possess those skills or not. If you are lying on your resumes or in your application, they will catch it right away, like in a snap. They will be able to catch it, and they will be able to know that even the application tracking systems, they know if they are now very advanced because of obviously AI, the artificial intelligence, and make the application tracking system smart. So they will be able to know that your definition is not right, or your niche is not defined right. There is something wrong there. Try to be honest, try to be clear, and try to be very sleek when you talk about what skills you have and what skills are needed by the employer. So in order to identify skills, what skills you are needing for that job, you need to talk to the people and experts around you. For example, if you're a designer for coaches, or if you're a content writer for travel blog, you need to ask the other content writers. They can be from any other niche or industry, but if they're experts, they can guide you. They can guide you that what skills are needed. Similarly, research the job and industry and what skills that job requires. What are the industry standards? These are the things that need to be answered. And again, I'm here to help you go through all this process, but you need to do it yourself because that's very critical. And again, check skills of other experts, read at least 20 job descriptions before you apply for that job. Now, it is very important to identify the skills because you need to know the caliber
your category, your own value and the job that you're applying for, so that you don't waste time of yourself and in the end you just get rejected. If you want to do that, that's your choice, but that will be a time waste. All this process that I'm discussing today right now, you need to have patience. You need to have patience to understand that these are very important steps in order to save you time and not get rejected. If you don't go through this process, and if you are anxious to get a remote job, or you're just anxious and finding a shortcut that this webinar is not for you, you can just leave right now. But if you have patience, you are committed to do hard work, and you are committed to put in effort, then you need to go through all these steps one by one and make you a solid candidate for a remote job or to stand out. Otherwise, like I mentioned, payingsocialmediajobs.com. I mean, you can go there, how to use social media and just try and earn. That way, if you feel that's a success for you, that's a great option. Again, I'm talking about some human skills here that are very important. I touched on these human skills, like be a human, have common courtesy. Don't just go into somebody else's inbox. You don't even know that person. You don't even introduce yourself and just ask for favors. Like I need a job. I need a remote job. Or they will just mention, oh, I am a content writer. Can you get me a remote job? I mean, how awkward is that? So that leaves a very bad impression, and it makes your chances less at least with that client or with that employer. Now, build connection, then ask. A lot of, even Muhammad Ishtiyaq Khan's posts, a lot of them, and a lot of other LinkedIn content creators and coaches, they tell you this all the time, that don't ask for favors right away. Just build a connection, engage, offer value before to your prospective employer or to your client before you just ask for favor. Some other parts are continuing improving, networking skills, some professional communication should be there, and all this can be done. I mean, a lot of communication, like if you want to write a great message, always ask ChatGPT to write a great email or a LinkedIn message or a message or an email for an employer to, and you can just copy paste that. That's how you can use ChatGPT. I mean, don't use ChatGPT for the reasons that are not legit. I mean, you can take a lot of help from these AI tools to write you emails that are error free and that have a friendly and a courteous tone to talk to your employers. English language is also covered if you ask a ChatGPT tool or an AI tool to help you write an email. Again, be honest. Honesty is very important. I will throw out a very exciting example here that will help you understand how can you be honest, and how can you stand out even if you don't have skills, and how can you be honest and stand out, and employee will love your attitude. For example, if a job requires Microsoft Office skills, and they want you to have a good understanding of Microsoft Word, they want you to have good understanding of Microsoft Excel, be honest. Don't tell them that you're an expert in Microsoft Office. Don't tell them if you're an expert in Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel if you are not an expert. You can easily write learning Microsoft Office or learning Microsoft Word or learning Microsoft Excel. And trust me, that will get you ahead of the competition. How? Because the application tracking system that that employer is using will pick up the keyword Microsoft Office, Excel, Microsoft Word. And those keywords will be picked up by the application tracking system. The application tracking system will filter you and will take you to the next step and the next process. And the recruiter will see, and it's a big chance that you will get an interview call. But if you're not honest, if you don't know Microsoft Word and you write expert of Microsoft Word, then they will catch it. You can pass that screen initial screening by the application tracking system and move further to the next step, recruiter, you may land an interview, but the employer will catch that lie in a second that you don't know anything about Microsoft Word or you are not an expert in Microsoft Word or Excel. Be honest, you can write to crack the code of application tracking systems. You can be honest. You can be honest. Again, I'm emphasizing on that. You can be honest and you can crack the code of application tracking system. Just right. Learning to be an expert of Microsoft Word. I mean, that's not a lie. You are being honest. But that way you can definitely beat the application tracking system, the smart application. Moving further, number 4 is very important. We are getting a little ahead of our time, but I will just close in 5 minutes. It's not long enough. I will just take 5 more minutes and then I will give you all the choices to ask questions. Now, it is very important to know your work. What is your experience? What are your skills? What is your education? How good a performer are you? How good you perform your job? That will be very important to understand yourself so that you know what you are and what value you have. Don't be overconfident. Don't overestimate yourself. Don't underestimate yourself. Just have a honest, clear picture of your skills, your strengths, your weaknesses, and then ask what you're worth. For example, again, if you're worth of $50 per hour, and that's the market value, most importantly, that the people of your caliber, your experience, your education earn, then try and present yourself in a way that you earn that $50 per hour. If your worth is a lot more, then be honest, be clear, know your worth, and ask for your salary accordingly. If you don't know your worth, then your employer will not know your worth, and they will not even consider you valuable for the company. So that's very important. Know your worth. What is your caliber? What is your education? What are the other competitors in the same field with similar experience are making? What money they are making? That will tell you what's your worth. And then the last and very important is the supply and demand of your skills in the market. For example, a data entry operator will maybe earn $5-7 an hour, but a digital marketer can earn like $100 an hour too. So you need to see how many data entry operators are there to know your worth, or how many digital marketers are there if you're a digital marketer, to understand what's your worth and how you can cash that. Remember, again, your employers, there are tests, there are exercises, there are interviews, there are a whole lot of things before you get selected. And in all that process, in the whole recruitment process, they will catch in a second what's your worth. And then if you will not be able to justify your worth, then that's a very bad impression and you will not be selected. Understand your strengths and weaknesses. Again, don't be overconfident. You must, even if you have some weaknesses, you can work on them and make them your successes. It's totally fine. Every human being has weaknesses, but don't lie about them. Just try and work on them and make yourself better, improvise yourself. All these things, they're very important for the mindset. They are very important to understand before you even set your goals and move yourself on the path of success. Otherwise, you will not be successful. That's a guarantee. So what are a few the strengths and weaknesses that you need to work on? For example, are you a focused person, or you just go with the flow? You just don't think about the important things and you're just doing whatever you want to do, or whatever comes to you, you're just doing it very well, but you're not focused. Are you a doing person, or you are a procrastinator? You're a lazy person. I mean, we can be lazy at times. That's not bad, but is it our weakness, or is it our general behavior to be a procrastinator or a lazy person? Then that's a problem. Next is very important. Can you self-discipline yourself? Because for remote jobs, for remote workers, I'm sure whoever here is a remote worker will understand that they need to self-discipline themselves to be able to work on their projects. If you have deadlines for, like, you have to submit 3 projects, you will have to self-discipline yourself and the avoid the things that will distract you. So are you that kind of a person who can self-discipline yourself, or you need another person, a boss or a manager, or even your mom to discipline you? If you're that kind of person, then remote job will be very tough for you, because you will need a person to discipline you. And in that way, it will create challenges for you in a remote environment. Then you need to ask if you need money, or you're financially stable enough. That's another strength or weakness. If you're an introvert or extrovert, how you can turn your introvertness into success or in your favor. How you can use your extrovert attitude and turn it into your favor. So these are all. Are you, another important, very one, are you organized or not? Because working remotely, again, it connects with self-discipline, but if you're not organized, then remote work can be tough for you. Now, again, it's totally fine to have weaknesses. All human beings have weaknesses, but you just need to work on them to make them better. This is the last one for today's webinar. Familiarize yourself with the portal, like I mentioned. If you're a graphic designer, it's most likely a big chance of you to get a great remote work or project. It would be on 99 Designs or maybe Upwork. But if you're from any other profession, then Flex Jobs is a website that offers all kinds of remote jobs. You just need to know how to search. That we will learn how apart towards the end of this webinar series. Again, you need to go through all these, the whole process to be able to land a remote job, and that's what I'm helping you for. If you want to teach any language, any coding, any skills that you're expert in, you can go to Preply and you can earn quite a bit of money from at least $20 and up. I would also like to mention there are very few remote jobs that are listed on LinkedIn from USA and Canada, especially if they're hiring internationally. If LinkedIn, most of the time, if companies list remote jobs on LinkedIn from USA and Canada, they will also have a requirement. Most of the jobs, and not all, most of the jobs will have a requirement for you to be a US resident or a Canadian resident. Otherwise, they will not hire you. But there are some jobs, for example, I know a web developer. He works in Prismfly here in US, and he is working from Pakistan. He's a very good web developer. Again, he got that job through LinkedIn. But again, there are few jobs that are in USA and Canada for the nationalities on LinkedIn, not on all portals. Flex Jobs is a great portal that posts international jobs for international remote working. Again, Upwork, for example, a lot of Upwork employers, they hire from different parts of the world and for remote jobs, for long-term remote jobs. Now, again, I would just like to remind you, if you need the presentation slides and other information and resources and updates, you can join me at dealership.podia.com. And once I have the email list ready, I will send you guys this. I also want to share at the end some AI tools for resume. Like if you want a whole lot of help to understand your resume, how to build your resume, take a screenshot of this screen, and there is one tool, resume.ai, my perfect resume. I personally love JobScan because it matches the job description and highlight matching skills and requirements in your resume so that you know what skills are needed for what job. So I really like this tool, so you can try these if you want. There is an assignment that I would like people to work on. And the assignment is that this is an empathy map. And again, you have to fill the what part of your objectives and goals. Like what are successes for you
what skills you need for that success, what is your worth, what are the portals you would work on. And on the top here, you can see you will have to define your two niches. What are your two major niches? And you will have to write down your strengths and weaknesses here. This is an optional assignment. If you want to do it, you can do it, but this will help you prepare and create a clear vision, a clear goal, a clear understanding of where you are and what you need to do to be successful or to achieve your goals, to achieve your targets. So if you want to help, you can just screenshot this one too and just fill it up, and you can submit it to me for a review on LinkedIn, or you can email me, whichever way is easier for you, and I will review it for you. And this is again the assignment part. Just fill up the what questions, the what factors, and just if you want a review, submit it by the next or the next week's webinar. And a little prize for the best filled canvas would be that I will showcase that canvas on my profile, and I will give a shout out to the designer or to the person who filled that the empathy map canvas in the best possible manner. Now, let's do the questions answers session. Please type in your question. Don't spam the chat, or I will miss important questions. Just start asking questions one by one, and I will try and answer most of them. All right, so the first answer from Sydney is, what tips do you have for contacting potential mentors? The first and foremost is that just search them on LinkedIn and use Boolean search to find the experts and people in your own niche or own field. You can broaden your niche in order to have a mentor. For example, if I am a talent acquisition specialist, I found a mentor in Marisa Liao. She was a global talent acquisition head. Again, global talent acquisition head at Facebook and Binance and huge big companies. So I found her on LinkedIn, and I messaged her in a very courteous way. And I saw at her profile that she mentors too. So that's where that's what my lead was. So I messaged her in a very courteous. I introduced myself, and I talked to her, and she was very nice and happy to mentor me, and I got huge guidance from her. So again, there are people who are there to help you, to mentor you. Just find the right mentor. I believe, yeah, 2 or 3 questions are about mentors. So I pretty much answered that. Like search, do a Boolean search on LinkedIn and find a mentor in your niche or field, and just approach them and talk to them. Another question is, any suggestions how to gain more copywriting leads through LinkedIn? It's been so that's a question that that can only be done again to defining your niche and having an optimized LinkedIn profile. So if you have an optimized LinkedIn profile, you have a clear niche defined, everything it looks good on your profile, then you can just again, conduct a Boolean search. We're looking for the people who needs copywriting. LinkedIn can sometimes be slow, or LinkedIn can sometimes be on the back foot when it comes to certain industries. But in most of the part, if you stand out, again, if you're courteous, if you have good communication skills, if you're approaching the clients in the right way, then definitely they can respond. Another question is, what is the best way to find clients related to software industry? Again, these are the questions of finding a client in software industry. These are the questions that would demand another webinar. And all these little things I have incorporated
in these 5 webinar series. And if you go through the webinar series, you will try and understand how to do it. But again, Boolean search is one. Even if you're not a LinkedIn Premium member, you can filter out jobs, you can filter out clients that are looking for people in the software industry. I don't know what specific skills you have, or are you a web developer, or are you a SaaS developer, or a blockchain developer? So that will also be important to conduct a Boolean search in the LinkedIn, and then search for that. So another question, we don't get any response even the application doesn't update status to seen. I have made my resume ATS friendly as well and applied to only relevant jobs. Is there anything which is missing? Okay, so one tip here, if everything you think is cool at your end and there's no response, then probably the employers, mostly in your niche or in your field, they are not posting jobs to hire. They're posting jobs to just to window shop and have a talent pool. But if you see a recruiter, most of the times when they post jobs, you see that there's a hiring manager there or a recruiter in the job description, and they tell you who is a recruiter. So you can directly, if the recruiter's profile is mentioned on that job description, you can directly message that recruiter. But again, be professional, be courteous, say hello, hi, how are you? I am very interested in this job. I'm very fit for this job. Again, your LinkedIn profile should show that you are a great candidate for this job. So optimize your profile going to that job again. So that's very important. Then approach the recruiter or the hiring manager directly in the messages, and you will be able to stand out and do something human, not artificial. Do something human to stand out and impress the recruiting manager. That always helps. Another question is, you spoke of skills, strengths, and weaknesses. How do you see the future of remote work? Will employers trust the ability and skills of a remote worker? And this will surely have a great impact. Yes, remote work is not going away at all. Remote work will stay here, and it will increase day by day. We will only have, the science is so developing that nowadays doctors can do a lot of different operations and surgeries sitting in their home. They have a device and a robot in the operation theater. They are working on that device, and that robot is doing the surgery in the operation theater, and doctor is not even present in the operation or surgery theater, and they're just doing it remotely. So remote jobs are not going anywhere. They will stay. The only thing that about the employers, that will they trust the ability and skills? Yes, because employers have all of these different ways to test the skills of remote workers. They can test, they can have different interviews, they have different assessments. They will have you fill out different questionnaires to understand where you stand and what are your skills. A very good question. Thank you, Maurice. Another very good question from Amar is, if a person is an all-rounder in 2 niches, like fashion design and social media, so these niches are from different categories, but it connects. They are from different categories, but you can definitely connect them. For example, in your case, if you are a fashion designer, then you can write, then your niche can be a social media marketing specialist for fashion design industry. So that is your niche. Now you combined both, and you become a social media marketing professional or social media marketing expert for the fashion industry, so that the whole fashion industry, all different fashion brands, they can contact you and they can ask for your expertise on their branding, on their social media presence, on their social media marketing. And that is a very good, that will be actually a very good niche. And you can even target, you will know that these are the fashion industry brands I can target, and you can directly approach them and tell them that I'm an expert social media marketing manager or social media manager for fashion brands or clothing brands, and they'll be happy to offer you their work. Other questions? Let's see. Okay, there's another question. Which platform is best to find Shopify dropshipping store developer job? For Shopify dropshipping store developer jobs, I would say Upwork is good. And Flex Jobs is also good. But again, this is something that this is not a job. The Shopify dropshipping store developer is not a job. It's a short-term project. So once you're done with developing a store, you may get out of job, and they may hire a Shopify store manager to manage the shop, but the development job is done. So it is a project. It's not a job, I believe. And again, you can change your niche to a store developer and manager for and create a niche like you are a Shopify dropshipping store development manager for a t-shirt store, for an electronics store. That will specify your niche, and that way you can have better chances to stand out in the competition. Other questions? Another question asked by Hiba is that I've done courses in graphic designing, but I'm an agriculture graduate. I want to pursue a designing career and wanted to be mentoring both fields. They're two very different fields, but you can obviously turn this into a niche. For example, you can say that you design logos for agriculture businesses, or you do graphic designing for agriculture businesses. So you can connect both all very different fields, but you can connect them to make it a niche, and that way it can help people from all over the world. If they are in agriculture business and they're searching for graphic designer, your profile will have a huge chance to appear on the top, because I mean, you are a graphic designer for agriculture business. I hope this helps. Technical recruiter, HR remote jobs, another question from Sakib. It's a very good question. All these portals, they have technical recruiter, HR remote jobs, but just to let you know that most of the recruiter jobs, they are outsourced to recruiting companies, not sole recruiters. So you might be hired by a recruiting company, and in wherever in the world, because even nowadays, Facebook, Apple, and a whole lot of big other tech companies, they're outsourcing a lot of their departments and a lot of their jobs to different recruiting companies, not sole recruiters. So I hope this answers your question. Just look for the recruiting companies that are hiring, and you can access them, talk to them, approach them, apply to their jobs if they do hire remote recruiters, and there's a lot of remote recruitment, a whole lot of recruitment. I guess it increased a lot in the last 5-10 years, even especially after COVID. A lot of recruiters are nowadays, they're remote. They don't work in offices. They work from. So you have a BS in computer sciences, and this question is from Mohammed Naman. It's a good question. I have started specialization in AI, but I have C++, .NET, Python, web skill. So I mean, I understand your education and I understand your expertise in the Python skills, but I don't know what are your passions and interests, what field you want to get in with your passion and interest and experiences. For example, if you're a Python expert, you can say you can be a data visualization expert or data analysis expert for such and such industry, for IT industry, for example. That would be a niche. That would be a good niche. Python is a very good platform. I personally love it, and there are a lot of jobs in the market. There are a lot of even tech companies, big tech companies. They're hiring Python developers because Python, I believe, is a new data analysis tool that is huge in the market. Hamza Altaf is asking any tips for LinkedIn optimization for beginners. I mean, there are a lot of creators, all these big creators, even Mohammad Ishtiaq, our guest speaker, he posts a lot about LinkedIn optimization. You can simply chat GPT that, how do a LinkedIn profile, and chat GPT will have. It's different for everyone. I mean, it depends on your niche. It depends on your field, what kind of optimization you need. I mean, you can use most important is have a great headline based on your niche. Mention hashtags that are your field and expertise. Then have a great featured section, post relevant content, value providing relevant content. These are just tips, and get endorsements from the people you know. These are some tips to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Any more questions? Let me skim through. So if I haven't missed any. I believe I have answered pretty much all of the questions, and our time is also up. I would like to thank you all for joining the webinar, and we will continue this webinar next Saturday as well as a second part of this free webinar, and I will try and change the time, and that webinar will be a little bit earlier or a little bit later in the day, so that if you can join on Sunday morning or Saturday evening, not midnight. Especially, I'm talking to to the audience from Pakistan and India, because it's really late, and the reason of having a less attendance. So I'm gonna definitely try and change the time for that. Thank you all for joining. If you need recording, that recording will also be available on the LinkedIn. But if you need the presentation slides, please subscribe, and then I will share the presentation slides with you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Have a great night. Have a great day wherever you are. Just enjoy your life and don't be worried about it. Have a great mentor, and you can definitely land a remote job. It's not impossible. You just have to work hard on your skills. You just have to work hard and have a plan. That's it. That's the only thing that you need. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. Have a great Saturday and Sunday. Thank you.